Hi, we're here celebrating Fuzzy Goats turning 11 with Sarah DeRue of Copper Corgi.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Good morning.
We are so excited to host Sarah, the creator of Copper Corgi Fiber Studio. We've covered up the banner so that we can get into your screen, but we're going to show you some beautiful yarns. You've been such a good friend to us all these years. We've carried you from the beginning.
I can't believe it's been 11 years.
I can't believe your children. Like, I knew you when you were pregnant with Milo.
Right. And I had a toddler, Cora, and now she's in middle school. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah. So, and it's because of you. You know, we wouldn't still be here 11 years and ordering yarn from Sarah if it wasn't for you all supporting us and our mission and what we do here. And, you created our first and our most popular color, Westjack Kid, which is in our Westjack Queen kits here. Isn't that beautiful? It has what we call rusty bits in it. It has that
little specks.
Yeah. Tell them how you do this, because I love thinking about you.
Oh my gosh. So this was one of the first custom colors that you asked me to do back in the day. And like, where do I even start? And you're like, well, our space has some blues and teals, and do with that what you will. So this was kind of when speckles were starting to be really an in vogue thing, I guess 10-ish years ago. And the way I have approached my speckling in this color at Westjack Kid is I dye the blues, I dye the greens in my standard kettle dyeing system. And then I lay all the yarns out on my driveway and I flick bits of rust-colored dye onto the
that is really funny.
Like imagine Jackson Pollock out there, only yarn instead of oil.
So I'm going to tell you how many skeins you've actually done that to.
I was going to say it's been hundreds for sure.
Oh, so I ran the numbers. Of this kit alone, we've sold 271.
What, of just the kit with this mini skein?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
384 on the fingering basis, so glitzy, sometimes the silk, always Savannah sock. 181 on the sport based.
Amazing.
So it all equals 836 skeins. Have you flicked?
Let's get to 1,000.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I have no reason to think next time when we have you here.
Yeah.
Right.
I
have to think that that's probably the most. Is it? I don't know.
No, that's definitely the most I've dyed the same color.
The same color.
For sure. Yeah. Wow, that's so cool.
And I remember being in a yarn shop in Macon. It's no longer in business. But I was going around looking at yarn shops, as we all do, but already in my head, like, oh, I think I'm going to quit my job and have one of these. And they had this beautiful cherry blossom color that you had dyed for them. I had never been at a yarn shop that had a custom color, so that was the first time I saw it. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, is that going to be possible?
That's a possibility.
And now here we are.
Oh, wow. That's so
selling
cool.
almost 1,000 skeins.
Oh, cool.
So before we look at Sarah's yarn, I want to show you just some of the swag we got in for our Fuzzy Turns 11, because they're bags, no surprise, and you can use them to put your Copper Corgi yarn into. So we have... first up is a brand new O-Snap bag, this size, so it's sweater size, and it's got 2 pockets on the inside, and then including a zipper pocket, and the zipper pocket's on the inside too.
Ooh.
Yeah, and a strap.
Nice.
So we had that whole thing set up for you with the strap and the colors and all of that.
That is a nice bag. I love it.
We really like our O-Snap bags.
That is perfect. That is like the perfect depth for a skein of yarn like that. Oh,
we can see how many skeins we can get in there.
Amazing.
And then since we were at the Delicue booth at Market and oohing and ahhing over this one, we also, of course, had to set up, I think we probably started with, okay, what colors are we going to use for our new edition? So we have the orange and the pink, and the last one was pink with teal, but we said, can we please add a strap? We've had requests for straps. So we've got the strap on this one. So we're super excited about this size. So 2 O-Snap bags. Then we have a new Notion bag, snack bag. They're really made for anything. Toiletries. It's got a gusset. It has to have a gusset.
Nice.
But it's got our artwork on it.
Look at your nails match.
Yeah, they do. Our artwork that Alana had made for us. So
That's gorgeous. I love that. So many little details in that illustration. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we got the goat.
Yeah.
The goat.
Baskets, bikes. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
So we have this one in limited quantities. And then we have our tote bag with the same artwork on it. And what I love about this tote bag is it's got a pocket on the outside. So you can put your keys, your wallet, your phone, and then just have all your yarn and important stuff in there.
Nice.
And it's got the same artwork on it. So you can, this will hold a lot of Copper Corgi yarn.
It will. Oh my gosh. Yeah, a couple sweaters in there for sure.
And then last but not least is we've got a new t-shirt. So with our new updated logo with our, in a more round version, it doesn't look a lot different than the other one, but the fuzzy goat is more apparent. And we've got this, our staff said, let's do a ringer tee, which I didn't know was a thing, but I now love it because it's very 70s, and I spent my teenage years in the 70s, so I love that idea as well. Okay, so we're going to show you now the yarns that Sarah brought. They're going to be online later this afternoon, by tomorrow for sure. So you can just sit back and relax and not worry about, oh, where are they? Let me go get them or whatever. We're letting the in-store people come and do that, and then we'll put them online later on today.
It's so cool that you're able to get things online so quickly.
Well, you made it easy because you sent me the pictures. Mm-hmm. So I just have to make sure the inventory numbers are right.
I have more pictures. I could have sent you more.
And then we can get it on there. But we're going to show it to them here. So you have a brand new collection. Tell us about the new collection.
I have some new colors coming at you. Some bases that you'll recognize, but I'm trying out 6 new colors that hopefully I'll get some feedback from you guys today. And then going forward, maybe I can add to the collection. So let me pull the 6 different colors out for you.
They're so pretty together.
And this is the last one. Nope.
No, there's 6.
I'm missing a white one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's see. How do I get these on to the screen for you to see? Ooh.
Look at that. Tell them the name of it.
So a lot of the times I like to pull my color inspirations from nature, and I live near the beach these days. So this collection is based off of different seashells, and I'm calling it Pocket Full of Shells. So I have different kinds of seashells here. I've got scallop shells and moon snails and mussels, and not all Florida seashells necessarily, but seashells from around the world. And I've got it on my 3 bases today: Savannah Sock, Savannah Sock Glitzy, and Okichi Sport. And those have truly been my go-to bases. They are tried and true these past, you've been here 11 years, and I've been doing this for 15 years, 16 maybe.
Have you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you still get inspired. That's great.
I do. Yeah. It's an inspiring business to be in. I mean, not just being able to see colors around you and making them come to life on yarn, but working with other amazing makers like yourself is continually inspiring to me.
I think this color especially will go quick because the lighter ones
color
aren't always part of your palette.
Yeah.
But we have some that you've done, and I really love them as kind of one of a kind.
They do. I do tend to go darker a lot of the time. So
it's probably more fun, huh?
Well, I mean, if you're going to dye something, if you're going to paint something, you're going to paint it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it starts off naturally a yellowy color on its own, just the yarn itself. So this just takes the slightest little bit of dye to get a little bit of greens and tans in there.
So that would work. So let's see. I'm going to stand up a second and flip just so you can see. You see that rack? This rack here. All these items on this rack, might be 10 of them, are all ones except for one that I personally knit out of Copper Corgi yarn.
Yeah. You're wearing one too,
and
right?
I am wearing one. So this is the Sport here. This is the Ogochi Sport.
Yeah.
And it's lovely to wear. This is Caitlin Hunter's Halu, Halu. And this is my favorite sweater to wear. It's lightweight, but it has interest to it, but it's oversized without being gigantic.
Yeah, but still
really like
shapely. It's very pretty.
I love this sweater. I'm going to knit another one, but I love wearing it in the Ogochi Sport. That light color there was making me think of the one that I knit here, which is, what is this one called? We have the links to all these up there. Got You Cornered.
Cool.
And you knit it from the middle. outward. It was nuts. I had never done.
No, it's not a circle. Oh,
no,
I
it's
see.
a square.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's mitered corners.
Ew.
And so this new color would be perfect
for some stripe action. Definitely.
And I really like a wrap because I feel like it's easy to wear around your shoulders, but you can also wear it as a scarf. Like a rectangle is nice like that. But then, you know, when you do need a coat, you can wrap it. Oops, not be very.
That looks great.
Yeah. Or what's the other way? This way here? Yeah, going like this.
That's my favorite way.
Yeah. Yeah, so I like this rectangle. It's unusual, and it's called Got You Cornered, and it would be perfect with that.
That looks like a really fun knit for sure. Something interesting. I like it.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
I've tangled myself up.
You're stuck.
Okay. All right. So tell us the name of this color, the new one.
This one is Moon Snail, and this one is the Scallop. This one is Blue Mussel. I'm holding it close enough. This one is called Olive Nearite.
All right, let's see. Olive Nearite is very similar to this one here. So I'm going to show you another piece I've done that you guys have seen. This one is Isabel Kramer's Westbourne, and it would be beautiful actually with this. And if you wanted the same.
Ooh, or this and this.
Look, yeah.
This one's similar too to that.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That looks good.
And Melissa did hers in one that was more like these two.
Oh, pretty. That is gorgeous.
So that would be really, and this is in the fingering in the Savannah sock.
And so that's the idea for the collection. I wanted all the colors to go with each other, of course. That's what makes a good collection, right? So
if Melissa was here today, we would have gotten some of her fade sweaters, but I think some like the light bright that she's doing that does a fade, this would be really pretty in that.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah. So if you wanted to use just one skein, we've got some ones that I've done in one skein too. This one is Damask. I really like this pattern. It's a little challenging, but
that is an intricate lace. That is very nice. And that seems like the kind of thing that you could do knit tightly or loosely and get two different kinds of shawls out of it.
You start with charts. I have to think about this for a second because it's very unusual, the construction. It's all charted. So if you don't like charts, I think there might be written instructions, but I highly recommend the charts. But you don't really see where you're going until you bind off at the end. Ooh. It's kind of nuts.
Trust the process.
That way, yeah. I've done a couple of Xeni, Xeni patterns, and they're all like that. But so if you see one in here, like, ooh, even the glitzy.
There we go.
The glitzy here. Can you see the shimmer?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Very good. So tell about that color there.
Okay, so I have my 6 new colors in my collection, and I've brought a lot of each of them in each base. You can do big projects or small projects. And then I also have one other color that I do a special colorway every year. I have a charity that I support, the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, and I make a new color every year, and proceeds from that color sale go to my Bike MS ride, basically. So this is the new color for 2025. Purples, plums, and that's on glitzy. Really, and then I also have it on.
And the glitzy in this one shows up as like little teal bits.
Yeah, the iridescence is like a greenish blue. So I will have a number of skeins of this colorway here today as well to support my fundraiser for Bike MS. We do a bike ride every year, and it's actually coming up in 2 weeks. We ride from St. Augustine, Florida to Daytona, raise some money, have some fun, get some exercise.
How long does that take?
Well, it depends on how long you sit and socialize at each rest stop.
Oh, okay.
But it's a 70-mile bike ride, so it's not nothing. And depending on the wind.
It sounded like a really long time.
You're riding along A1A, so it can be windy. So, 6 hours approximately. And you ride down to Daytona, and it's the end of the season for Bike MS. It's the end of the year. They do multiple events throughout the year all over the country. And so they have kind of like a season finale celebration in Daytona. Everyone spends the night there, and then the next morning they do it again, and they ride back to St. Augustine. So it's a 2-day event.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been doing the bike ride itself for quite a few years now. And I've raised lots of money, and sales of this yarn every year are a big chunk of it.
Oh, how satisfying.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
I enjoy it very much. Yeah, it's a big part of my life for sure.
Wow. Okay, we've got some questions for you too. I'm just going to sprinkle these in here. So how do you pick your bases? Your bases are very unique. We don't have anything. I've not come across anything that is like yours at all.
That is so good to hear.
Yes, right? You've done your work.
Basically, when I started 15-ish years ago, I knew I wanted it to be, I had certain things I wanted. I knew I wanted it to be a lightweight yarn, so a fingering weight most likely, and I wanted it to be able to be washed and handled and dyed. So I stumbled kind of luckily upon this yarn that I call Savannah Sock, and it's been my go-to. It's been my steadfast yarn since day one, and I've added to it with other bases. Some have stuck around, some have come, some have gone.
Yeah, the 2 sweaters I did not bring because they're in yarns that were here for a minute. Not a minute, for a while, and now,
it's this sort of the nature of the industry. Sometimes a mill can get those fibers again, and sometimes they can't, and mills come and mills go, and producers come and go, and so. But luckily for me,
there's especially a lot of volatility right now.
Yeah.
Are you having any trouble getting your bases?
I am not having any trouble getting my steadfast bases, the ones that I have here today. Savannah Sock Glitzy, and Ogeechee Sport. Those ones they're here to stay for sure. But yes, there are some materials that we can't get as easily anymore, that the prices are going up significantly. And so I've had to look at, when is a good time to add a new base to the collection? Now is not necessarily a good time, because you don't know if
you invested in it, are people going to want it?
Are people going to want it? Is it going to be sustainable? Will it be here next year? Are going to be able to get it? So this year I'm focusing on new colors, same bases.
All right. That sounds like a really good plan. And I'm glad you brought that up, because we're feeling that, but I'm not always sure how to articulate that, so to have our friends hear it from the dyer. Also that sometimes you're not going to be able to get it again. Yeah.
These materials come from all over the world. Some of them are
right. So even though you're in Florida, doesn't mean it all came from
There's
the US.
No sheep in my backyard. I wish there were. But some of these materials come from all over the world. The sheep are raised here, and then it's sent here to get scoured, and then sent here to get milled, and then it's imported to us here. So it moves around quite a bit before it makes it to our hands.
So this Savannah Sock has amazing yardage.
Yeah.
Again, really unique in that way.
Right? 490 yards, almost 500 yards.
For a while it had 460, which was still amazing.
Yeah, we bumped it up a little bit.
And then I didn't even know that there was 4. I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to need to change the labels.
Yeah, right? Bumped it up. So plenty to get a pair of generously sized socks, a large shawl, or even a small t-shirt for maybe an adolescent.
Or even what's the ranunculus seems to be magical. You can just knit that on a size 10.
I've seen so many versions of that sweater. It's amazing what you can do with that pattern. Incredible.
So your Savannah Sock, somebody yesterday was buying this specifically because it did not have nylon in it.
Yes.
And some of you are going, okay, I'm out. Sock yarn, no nylon. But this is different.
Right. That was another thing I was looking for when I started off. I wanted it to be just wool. I wanted a strictly wool product. So this is one of the few sock yarns out there on the market that does not have nylon in it. And what its saving grace is the really tight twist of each ply. It's a 2-ply yarn, and it's tightly twisted together. So it's very, very strong and resilient. And that's what the nylon would add to any other sock yarn.
Yeah, it has a super tight twist. And because it doesn't have the nylon in it, that's exactly what she was looking for yesterday. She wanted a sock yarn, and I was showing her the different sock yarns, and she's like, I'm sticking with these because this is the one that doesn't have the nylon in it.
Awesome.
So there you go.
A little place in the market.
Yeah. So what's your favorite base? Is it the one that you've done the longest, or is it like, oh my gosh, why haven't I done this one more often?
The Savannah Sock is my favorite base because for me, it's the most pleasant to work with in the dyeing and packaging process. It is just consistent. Batch after batch that I work with, I'm able to achieve the same colors without question. That is not always the case with different fibers. The fibers grow on animals. Every animal is unique. The whole process you never know what could happen to affect the end product. But this one, it is steadfast again and again. Every time it's time to come order, I'm always like, I'm going to order this much of this yarn, this much of this yarn, 5 times as much of this yarn.
So how long is the process once you have the base in hand?
Once I have already made the color, once I've already come up with the color recipe, how long does it take from going from white yarn to this?
Yes.
It's about, I would say it's about a week-long journey for this skein of yarn to go from white to what we see here. And it's multiple steps, and each step doesn't necessarily take a very long time, but there's time in between each step.
Yeah, because they got to dry.
Drying. Yeah, so by getting all my yarns ready, getting the studio set up, the next day I turn on the kettles, I start dyeing. That is the longest day. I try to do all my dyeing on one day, get it all done.
Okay.
That's usually a full, hot, long, sweaty day. And then when that's done, it has to dry, and that takes a couple of days. So there's a little rest period in there. I do other things. I'm a mom, blah, blah, blah. Come back 2 or 3 days later, and it's time to skein it up into this package that you see here. Necker did not change. Actually, the move from Savannah to Satellite Beach made it a little bit easier in that the air in Savannah does not move. There's no wind.
Yeah.
It's very stagnant.
Yeah. So I wondered if that was more humid.
It was humid. It was very hard to dry the yarns. Now we live near the beach. There's more breezes. There's more sunshine. Drying is much faster.
Okay.
The water quality is different as well. Where I used to live was on well water. Now it's on city water. So I had to make some adjustments for that too.
Okay.
Like, I don't get bogged down in the chemistry.
Yeah,
too
but
much.
still, I think people are interested. I mean, you don't have to, but that not only the weather, but when you move, it changes the process.
Change it. Yeah, because my recipes are written. It is a chemistry experiments every time. The water where I made the recipes was well water, and it had certain minerals and pH levels. And now I work on city water, and it fluctuates significantly week to week.
And
are
you measuring the pH?
Not anymore. I've kind of adjusted
know?
it, and I use water filters and stuff.
Okay.
And but at first there was a learning curve. The colors were not the same.
And is your studio literally in your garage?
It is literally in my garage.
And it's just you.
It's just me. Over the years, I have certainly thought about wanting to grow and do something bigger, hire help, get a space. But in the end, I'm glad that I've sort of kept it small so that I can roll with the fluctuations in this market. Yeah. So it's just me, low overhead, make my own hours, do my own thing.
Yeah. So if you're going to add a new color in, how much does that, you said, so it's a week from the beginning. Yeah. Normally. But if you're adding a new color.
Yeah, that adds to it definitely, because they're usually, this time I got to add new colors that were of my own creation, but a lot of times my new colors are, I'm working with a yarn store like yourself, and we have some back and forth of, what do you think? What should we do for this color? Maybe we'll have an inspiration picture, and I'll go from there. And that definitely adds to the process. That's a couple of extra days in there where I dye the color, I let it dry, I look at it, it's not quite right. Here's what I need to change, and go back and forth. So that, coming up with the colors is the time-consuming bit. The fun part, though, right?
Okay. It's
the creative part. The rest is mechanized.
Hey, Lou, we'll be open at 11. You are welcome to sit a minute, but we're doing our video.
The public is clamoring to get in.
All right. So we love your names, your yarn names. Do the yarn names ever come first?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. That would be really hard to be like, no. It's always, I get the colors, and then I'm like, come to me. What is this?
Well, it helps when you have a theme, right?
You know, I actually did something this time that I've never done before, and I always swore I wouldn't do. I used Chat GPT to come up, to help me brainstorm the ideas. And I did a pretty good job. It was scary how good it did. I had a picture of all 6 yarns, and I was like, I sent it the picture, and I said, come up with names for these 6 colors. And it came back and said, these 6 yarns look like the this and the that. And a lot of it was...
I've never used it by showing it a picture.
It was crazy. It knew it was yarn, and it went straight into this whole feminine whimsy idea. And it was a little cheesy, but I just kept asking it more questions and directing it more until I got some good ideas. Yeah.
And now it's going to know more and more about your voice and be, be more accurate.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
Yeah,
crazy.
it is nuts what's out there. So do you enjoy dyeing solids or speckles more?
I don't do a lot of speckles.
Okay.
Your WestJack kit is one of the few repeatable speckles that I've ever done, because speckles are really unpredictable. Generally, the way most dyers achieve the speckles is by taking the pure dye, which comes in a powder form, and sprinkling pure dye powder onto the yarn.
Okay.
And that can go a lot of different directions.
Yeah.
Because the way that the dyes are made are a mix of different pigments, so that when you blend it all together in water, it becomes that color.
Yeah.
But when they're individually sprinkled on yarn, you're going to get a blue, and you're going to get a yellow, and you're going to get a red, and
yeah, so that that explains why sometimes when we are unscaning something to wind it, and I'll see all of a sudden like this yellow speck that didn't look like it belonged there. It's because it's part of that dye process.
Part of how that speckling process is done. So I prefer what I call my tonal semi-solids.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, I prefer wearing them too, and they're much more fun to knit than just a plain solid, because there's something interesting going on. So what's your favorite colorway? Which I know is like asking you to pick a favorite child, but we can have favorites and you can change it.
WestJack Kid is my favorite
Oh,
colorway.
you don't have to say that. We also really love Peacock.
That is not my favorite.
Yeah, okay.
Because that is such a deep, deep, deep color. It takes a couple of extra, got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
One, for sure. I do really like blues and greens, though I do tend to go that direction when I'm left to my own devices. But and I really actually, it does sound like I'm sucking up to you, but WestJack is my favorite. It reminds me of sort of this path that I've been on in the business world. And it does have that extra step where I get to bring it out on the driveway and sprinkle it with the color that none of my other yarns have.
Okay.
It's just like, today's WestJack Day.
Also, what I'm seeing over my corner is, let me see if I can turn it over here, is Long Road to Key West is on that sweater.
This green one.
Over there. So yes, you do greens amazingly well. Whenever I want to
I'm going to need
knit
another
with green.
I have these 6 colors. I think I'm going to need
we need a green.
Definitely need a green. I got blues and tans galore.
So how did you learn how to do this? What did you do before?
My job before I was an art director for a magazine in Savannah.
Okay.
So I have an art background. I went to art school, and I was a knitter, and my mom was a knitter, and she and I were making baby sweaters, and we were selling them on Etsy. This was back when Etsy was like the new, what is this exciting thing? And, my mom knits beautifully. She made these beautiful, intricate cabled baby sweaters, and they sold pretty well. But
It's not really sustainable.
We all know.
That's fun for a minute, and then it's like, now I have to make 40 of them, and they don't want to pay for what it cost in the yarn.
The time and the yarn, it was very expensive and time consuming and blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, well, what is Etsy? What is successful on this platform? What are people doing who are actually making sales? And I kind of stumbled into the yarn dyers world. I didn't even know that existed. I was just a Michaels shopper for yarn up until that point. And that's where I discovered that, there's this whole other world of gourmet yarn, basically. And I managed to find myself some white yarn, and I ordered those little powders of dye, and I kind of tried it out in my kitchen one day. It's back before I had kids or, other things to occupy my time like that. And I was like, this is amazing. Look how beautiful this is. It came easily to me, and I found it very inspiring. And I just put it on Etsy, and it sold. And I did, a little bit of learning on YouTube, and I got a book about dyeing, and I took a class at SAF. And other than that, it's been trial and error for 15 years.
So part of that sounds like you were also lucky to live in Savannah, where there was other classes and things.
There was an awesome yarn store there, and the university there, SCADS, Savannah College of Art and Design, they have a big fibers department. So there was a fiber presence in Savannah, and then I learned to travel to Asheville to take some classes and things.
And Frayed Knot, is that in Savannah?
Yeah.
Really cute. FRAYED.
Yeah, not like KNOT.
And they have it. They used to in their other spot have it organized by all of it by color.
Yeah, they still do that.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I've been in the new small one,
big
but I didn't.
Wall of color, rainbow color from the front of the store to the back. It's just like, okay, well, you go in there, looking for your color, and then you find your weight. It's pretty cool.
Okay, so we have one last question for you. What else would we be surprised that you're good at? You're obviously excellent at that. You're a great bike marathoner.
That's what I was going to say, as I bike. So I already used that. You knew,
well, that's okay.
You knew I biked because I brought my bike one time when I came here. But what else am I good at? I'm good at sarcastic comments.
Okay.
And in my other social circles, when I get these kind of icebreaker questions, I say I knit. That doesn't work here either. I don't know.
I think the marathon biking is pretty.
I do triathlons, so that's kind of my secret little skill.
That is really amazing.
I've learned in just the last couple of years. I've gotten into that,
and I love that it's something active.
Mm-hmm.
My things that I'm also good. Well, I don't know. This is really all I do anymore. And somebody said, "Well, what would you do instead?" I was like, I don't know what I would do instead. I just want to do this. Yeah. And if I didn't do this, I don't have like an active thing to replace it with.
Yeah.
Like I would knit all the time instead of planning knitting projects for everybody and things like that.
Yeah, you're in your dream job.
I am,
that's
but if I only did that, I would never be active. This isn't really active, but anyway, it is.
You're on your feet all day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a hard balance, honestly, between being active and doing this relatively active job, and also finding time to knit, for sure. I definitely don't get to knit as much as I used to.
Yeah.
But I still have my time. I still handle the yarn every day.
You've got 2 kids.
Yeah. That excuse is getting old, though. Like, they're getting old enough that they don't need me all the time. Someone at the door.
That's Arva for class. You didn't know that.
Hello.
Yeah.
The doorbell rang.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to get busy so we can get this started to get all set up and everything for you. Throughout the day, we'll start to have more things available. I will send an email out once I have all the yarns available. But if you have any questions, you can text us at 229-236-GOAT. Sarah is going to be here all day, so if you have questions for Sarah, thank you for all the great birthday wishes. Thank you, too, Sarah, for being here with us today. Yeah, all right.